Coming up right now, a project to save Florida's Beer Can Island offers partial ownership. I'll tell you how much it's going to cost you.
Also coming up, dating at Bumble is giving 50 couples a free wedding celebration in one city, but there is a catch.
There's always a catch. A little bit later on, we're going to introduce you to the Brooklyn crossing guard who makes some serious moves while she's on the job.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English. We're welcoming you to a midweek Daily Flash. So glad to have you here. And of course, we're also joined by Matt Doodler. Matt, what's going new with you?
So the warranty on my car has officially run out, and I'm just waiting for a wheel to fall off, because if it's anything like Apple, the minute it's a little old, it just stops working that much better.
Don't worry. I have a feeling you're going to get a phone call about an
extending
extended warranty.
Yes.
So
I already started getting those in the mail.
They know
So
about
now
it.
the phone's coming. Yeah.
Try to get a home loan. We got because we're going to do some renovations, and they'll send you stuff in the mail. It says it's from our bank that we went through, but it's not at all. And we keep on getting inundated by them.
And they send you these special notices.
Yes, got
right?
those.
In
Got
like
those.
a different color envelope to try and trick you into thinking like you're overdue on a utility bill. Or
We've got those as well.
you need to add an extra water line at the edge of the sidewalk in front of your house. I'm like, really?
My
Do
mom
I
thinks
really?
the government's coming for me every day, because some of my mail still goes there, and there's all these like notice things. I'm like, Mom, they're all fake. All right, you got a check, and it's in that the check
Yes.
sleeve, and I'm like, it's not a check.
What was that, Publishers Clearinghouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Which
Ed
is.
McMahon,
I
that
just
used to-
watched Top Secret, and they were supposed to deliver a very important letter, and it was a Publishers Clearinghouse thing.
Clearinghouse.
Anyway.
There have been tons of studies when it comes to weight loss and exercise, right? So it seems lately the number one way to lose weight and exercise is by doing one exercise, and that's
Like,
it.
Over and over, or like really?
Walking.
Oh, just walking. Okay,
Walking,
yeah.
they say, is the best overall exercise to help you lose weight and stay in shape, because it uses all parts of your body, it's easy on all your joints, and it keeps you moving.
And you feel like you're accomplishing something there too, and it doesn't feel like it's exercise, right?
Exactly.
It's just a walk. Something
Yes.
you've been doing since you were a kid, but it's
Right.
something that's very important. If you can pick up the pace, it makes it a little bit better.
But if you think about it, like
that makes sense.
Yeah, back to primitive men and women. I
Yeah.
mean, they didn't have gyms. They weren't going to Crunch to work out, right? They were walking and trying to find food. So walking is really inherent to our nature.
You can almost and also you sleep better. I know if you take a walk after you eat dinner. I mean, it does so much wonders for you. So I can buy into that. That's one research I can stand behind.
So if you're struggling with a workout routine, just put it on pause and just take yourself for a 20-minute walk every day.
All right, let's jump into some trending news. We go near Tampa, Florida, where a small Florida key, it's known as Beer Can Island, it's up for sale. And one buyer is actually looking to partner up with anybody who wants to put up $1,000. It's a 9-acre island. It's also known as Pine Key. It was created back in the 1940s as a result of dredging, the process of relocating sand and other materials from construction sites. Well, 3 friends back in 2017 purchased the island and cleared what was described as about 400 bags worth of trash.
Wow.
The owners even installed attractions like a giant slide, portable bathrooms, tiki bars, all to attract visitors. Now they've decided to shut it all down. It's up for sale. The island is listed for more than $14 million. Well, there's one interested buyer who's actually launched a campaign called Save Beer Can Island. It would actually allow the public to buy a stake in the island for just $1,000. And if he's able to buy the island with the funds from the potential island investors, anyone who pays $1,000 will have the opportunity to vote on issues, including whether the island will be open to the public and what should be installed at the site. The biggest problem and the issue that they had was from the county, because they wouldn't let them build anything out there. And so that the tiki bar, all that is collapsible. It's not
Temporary.
permanent. Right.
Yeah.
And same goes with the slide. It was an air slide where you would pump it up and that sort of
Inflatable.
thing.
Interesting. Would you do it?
Oh, when I read about this, I was like, yeah, it's $1,000. I can own part of it, but and so far he's raised $500,000.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
So yes, to answer your question, if I had a spare
Guys,
Yeah.
guys, Daily Flash Island.
I like it.
Come on. I mean, it'd still be Beer Can Island when Mitch and I get done with it, but it's still, you know, it could be.
It sounds like a reality show.
It's not a bad idea. We could do the show from
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Beer Can
That'll
Island.
end well in Tampa.
AKA Pine Island.
Yeah, well.
Interesting. Well, if you met your partner on the dating site Bumble, you could win a free Las Vegas wedding. The company announced a plan to celebrate couples who met on their dating app with free weddings and vow renewals this coming summer. For one weekend only, Bumble is turning the Little White Wedding Chapel into a free wedding venue for 50 couples whose romance started on the app. Now, through the end of April, anyone who met their partner on the platform can share their love story for a chance to win this Vegas-style wedding. Some restrictions, of course, do apply.
As always.
And Bumble is not just providing the venue. The trip also includes travel and accommodations for selected couples and their 2 guests. They will also provide hair and makeup services and a little extra spending cash.
I love their campaign because back when I was in dating world, I was on this Bumble, and they were like, "It's the app we want you to get rid of."
Yes.
And I thought that was a clever marketing campaign. And then I was watching basketball. Didn't they do the Lakers? Weren't they
Yeah,
sponsored?
Lakers were sponsored by Bumble.
By Bumble, so they have
Yep.
a Bumble logo on their uniform. Isn't that wild? It's just like you would never think like it would get as big as it is.
Dating
It seemed,
site, yeah.
just a
I
dating
mean, I
site.
met my wife on Hinge.
You did. Hinge kind of has the same sort of campaign, doesn't it? Like they want you to cancel the
Cancel
app.
to
or-
get rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all out there. That's hopefully the whole purpose of it all. Esther Starr Bishop's bread and butter is safely escorting kids across the Brooklyn intersection while shaking her hips and twirling to whatever beat she has blasting in her earbuds. And yep, we got video. Let's just say the crosswalk is her dance floor, and there's no parking on the dance floor. Sporting an NYPD uniform, matching navy face glitter, the 54-year-old Bishop controls traffic while elementary schoolers walk to and from school. It's a responsibility she's held for the past 4 years. She says the NYPD serve and protect, but she can serve and dance as she protects. The East New York native said that she's been grooving since she was an infant, and she admits that she couldn't stop dancing even if she tried, but insists it never gets in the ways of her duties. And you can tell she's in shape.
Oh my
and can you
gosh.
imagine just dancing all day doing
All
that?
day.
Can do that.
She looks amazing.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Not only does she have the moves, but she is in tip-top shape.
I was my 13-year-old. I take him to school, and we had. Now she didn't dance, but she owned her little area. She'd make up.
Crosswalk.
Crosswalk.
Yeah.
She would make up signs, and they would put around the school and all that. And she had it down, and she had like. She was kind of doing that kind of dance, but like
Yeah.
it was more like, all right, you gotta do this and this, and you just stop to listen to her or look at her to make
Yeah.
sure that you were doing the right thing.
But then you stop and look at her, and she's probably like pointing you to get the heck out of there. Like, let's go!
Hey, I'm dancing. No, get out of here. All righty. No, it's not Matt Doolittle. It's the world's biggest hot dog, and it measures 65 feet long, and it's coming to Times Square at the end of April. The creation is actually the brainchild of 2 Brooklyn artists who will be taking the hot dog to new heights with their tempting sculpture. The installation called Hot Dog in the City. It's going to be on public view 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all through June. That's going to consist of a colossal bun and a classic Frank topped with a giant splash of mustard. The artists, who relish using food in their work, said hydraulics would raise the sculpture skyward at noon and then shower people with confetti.
Okay.
With confetti. All right, so if you want to go check that out, you could be able to do just that.
Shall we move on?
I think we shall.
In today's house for sale, if you're in the market for a new home, then the sky's the limit with this one. For nearly $3 million, you can take off and land on your own private airstrip.
Oh, wow.
This Connecticut hilltop mansion comes with its own airstrip and hangar. Happens to be the only FAA-approved personal airstrip in the state, and it covers about 50 acres. The seller is Barbara Hackman Franklin. She is a former Commerce Secretary. The house was built back in 1988 at close to 6,000 square feet. The home features 3 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, 2 fireplaces, an elevator, and grand views from large picture windows. It also includes a home gym, an indoor pool and spa. The airstrip is about 1,800 feet long, fit for a small plane or helicopter, but not, I repeat, not a private jet.
Oh.
So I'm sorry, both of you. I
I'm
know
out.
you probably, that's not going to work for you.
No.
Our friend John Travolta, I say friend,
Yes.
he's not. I mean, he doesn't even know who I am. But he actually has one of these houses in Ocala, Florida,
Yes.
that actually his 737 can pull up to.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, do you think, imagine like in your neighborhood seeing a 737, and he has a, if you look at his house, it looks like an airport, first
Yeah.
off. It even looks like it has a air traffic controlling unit at the top. But he parks his jet over here, and then his plane, his 737,
amazing?
and it's an amazing.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the land was probably cheaper, but in Florida,
Yeah.
there are a lot of these neighborhoods that have their own airstrip where you land.
Yep.
Basically, you could turn on the lights by using a button on the
plane.
On the plane, it's like a radio
Yeah.
signal, and it sends it and turns it on, so that you don't really need a air traffic
I
control.
think they call them fly in, fly out communities, don't they?
Isn't that cool to have something
It
like
is
that?
neat, yeah.
But a 737, that's huge.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
Way to go, John
Honey,
Travolta.
what was that in the background? Oh, that was just my neighbor's 737.
Vinny Barbarino flying in the sky. More Flash coming up right after.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Our next guest is Melissa Cade Garcia, and she has a new book out called The Reality of Rejection. In the book, she talks about how the sharp pain of rejection can often leave people in shock and fear, but there are ways to work through it. Please welcome Melissa to Daily Flash. Hey, Melissa.
Hi there. How are you? Thank you
Very-
for having me. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure to have you. Whether it's a relationship or even a career rejection, it's all painful. You have 3 steps on how to deal with it. Let's start with the first step. You say acknowledge your emotions.
Yes, we need to acknowledge our emotions, and I'll start by this. Humans were created for connection. So when rejection happens, the opposite of connection, there is, a pain, discomfort that comes along. And often we experience those first as children, and we don't know what to do as a 3-year-old, when that disconnect happens. So our soul begins to create self-defense mechanisms to kind of divert that. And so we're functioning on these emotions that our soul has built up through childhood. We don't even really realize it. So we suppress all of these things. And so when it rears its head in adulthood, we have to acknowledge the discomfort. We have to acknowledge the emotion. And I call that the power of self-connection, and it'll change your life. So we live in a society where people tend to suppress or overreact.
Sure.
And neither of those things get us anywhere. So we want to really stop and explore the emotion as opposed to ignore the emotion.
And that brings us to your second point where you say reflect and learn from it.
Yes. So I do believe that emotions are important, but they should not dictate our lives. We need to pay attention to them. I consider them data for the soul. So you simply
nice.
want to you want to step back instead of reacting, because what we normally do is our self-defense mechanisms subconsciously they shoot up to protect us, and we want to react. And that can have us fly into a fit of rage. It could have us have our own little pity party. It could have us put up a wall. That's reacting. We want to respond. You want to stop, and you want to take a step back, and you want to think about what you're feeling. And really the goal is to get to the root of why you're angry. We know the feeling, but why are you feeling that way? That's, the bottom line of it. We want to respond instead of reacting.
And you also say your third tip here is to cultivate resilience and self-compassion.
Yes. And so a couple of things here. This happens outside of the first 2 steps, where, you're going to have to come to the realization that whatever rejection you faced as a child that is trying to protect you now has no significance on your worth. And also the other realization is that, when rejection does happen, it has nothing to do with us. And it's often comes from the state of mind of the rejecter or their perspective. So we have to learn that it really never was about us. That's the first thing. And then the other realization is we were not meant to be disgruntled. We were not meant to be discontent. We were not meant to live just distracted. That's not what was meant for us. We want to get back that part of us and become that whole human that was kind of taken apart, when we were younger and started building these self-defense mechanisms. So we have to look at the body, the mind, and the soul. So when we think about the body, in order to cultivate resilience and self-compassion, you think about regular physical activity because it helps reduce stress, eating well, sleeping well, all of those will give you clarity of mind and build resilience. Spiritually speaking, it depends on a person's core values. So if you're, for myself, I'm a person of faith, so prayer really works well for me. It might be meditation for others, spending time in nature, whatever it takes to connect to the Creator. We're looking for, we're looking for peace and for purpose. And then the last part of us, I'm sorry.
I was going to say we are out of time, Melissa. Thank you so much. For more information and to get a copy of Melissa's book, The Reality of Rejection, please visit transformativeconnections.net. Mitch.
All right. Thank you there, AJ. Good stuff. And then there's this. I want you guys, wherever you're doing, stop. I want you to watch the screen here because a fully autonomous AI robot raised a few eyebrows after appearing to grope a reporter during an interview at a tech festival in Saudi Arabia. Check it out. The journalist was speaking in front of a robot named Muhammad when the machine seemed to, touch her behind. The reporter quickly moved away from the robot, but not before holding up her hand and waving at it to just stop doing that. Jackson does the same thing. The company actually said the robot was designed to help perform tasks in hazardous conditions and help improve safety for humans. They say that the robot, they say it wasn't trying to grab the reporter. It was actually motioning her to step forward. Move up just a little bit, please, would you? That's my impersonation of AI.
After you.
After you, please. Okay, if a robot does that, who gets in trouble if it really was doing that? I want to find out.
That's a good
That's what's going to
question.
happen in the future if we don't stop these robots.
They've already had a lawsuit with the VR goggles in a video game where one woman said she was assaulted by another player within the video game, and
Holy
she's
cow.
suing that player for assaulting her within the video game in the viral world.
In the metaverse.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, it's like layer upon layer upon layer.
I'm wondering if she has a case there because a half or if not more of when you get a physically abused, it's the emotional that goes along with it. So if you're seeing it emotionally, you're experiencing it. That's interesting.
crazy?
It's a whole new law. It's gonna be a whole new law like the internet was.
Yes.
Think about that. More Flash coming up around the corner. We are going to be checking in with Tony Toscano. He's going to tell us what's coming to your screen. A show called Perimeter. All that's coming up as well. I'll give you the deets on that. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It is time to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what size you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. Entering its first season on BET is the family drama Perimeter.
We all make choices in our lives, never knowing how important each of them will be.
Hey, yo, Paige.
Look, stop.
I see what you're trying to get into. You met my boy Poppy, right?
Everybody calling you Poppy now? I mean, I kind of like Romeo better.
Can you teach him everything about the perimeter?
You keep to yourself, don't you?
Like to stay out of trouble.
Oh, well, good luck.
Set in the 1990s, a family tries to find connection despite individual turmoils and personal drama. The series stars Ava Monet and Tatiana Ali.
It's like a really provocative, I think, and enveloping story. And I hope that after people see these first 4 episodes, they'll want more.
I think that everyone who watches it can relate to it. Every character is so well fleshed out that there are things that every person can relate to. Even though this is a period piece, this is still very current, the issues that they are facing, whether it's Paige, my mom, anybody. I think anyone can relate to it. And I think, it's definitely going to take you back to the 90s with the fashion, with the music, with the way that we carry ourselves, and the setting is just going to bring people back to the 90s, and everybody loves the 90s.
Perimeter is a series with complicated family dynamics and complicated storylines to follow. Although the acting is great, but as with most first seasons, Perimeter needs some time to find its footing and rhythm. Again, it's streaming on BET and gets a C. It's not rated. Making their way back onto Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon, The Thundermans return.
Danger!
Shelter! Seek shelter! Won't some superheroes save us?
Thundermans reporting for duty.
The film follows a superpowered family as they begin a new era of superhero crime fighting. But when one mission goes wrong, the Thundermans are sent back to their hometown to fix it.
This was really well done. It's sort of the Thundermans turned up on steroids, but not on steroids. And, you know, just everything's bigger, more special effects, more budget, everyone's back. It's just, I think it's going to create even more momentum and excitement.
I hope they like it. I hope they everyone enjoys it, and we get to do another one and keep making people happy and laugh.
You know, I think as artists and performers, we just want people to feel something. That's kind of our goal. And with this movie, and even with music of mine, like, my goal is for people to feel part of something.
Aimed at families, The Thundermans Return is a silly and fun, harmless romp with a few laughs. Check out The Thundermans Return streaming on Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon. It gets a B and is not rated. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Thanks, Tony. Well, it's time for an all-new edition of Is It True? Now, we have all lived in cities that have some pretty horrible drivers. Me, I've lived in Orlando, LA, Detroit, Tampa, but by far the worst I have ever seen, and it actually has its own Instagram, and this is a true story, it's Miami. However, according to an article in Forbes magazine, they believe it gets this. Get this, it's Albuquerque, New Mexico has the worst drivers. The metrics were based on the number of people killed in fatal crashes, total numbers of fatal crashes involving drunk drivers, fatal crashes involving a distracted driver, and fatal crashes involving speeding. This was based on a per 100,000 residents. Now, Albuquerque scored 100 out of 100. Following those scores, right behind them was Memphis, Detroit, Tucson, and Kansas City. So I get the scoring, but does merging with no blinker count, veering across 4 lanes because you almost missed your exit count, stopping in the middle of the highway, just because, or one of my favorite tricks, the number of fingers being shot out of the sunroof while lighting a cigarette, blasting Barry Manilow. That is a true story. And now, Mitch, I know you've spent some time in Albuquerque. I haven't. So is it true they have the worst drivers?
I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Or was that Bugs Bunny? I can't remember. Actually, you know what? A lot of they have the most. I do know this. They have a huge drunk driving problem there. I do, and I've driven up and down that whole state of New Mexico, and I don't remember being crazy drivers, but I remember the statistic of drunk driving being the highest in the nation in that area. So
they scored the highest on all the major cities in the entire country, 100 out of 100, which I thought was nuts. And I've lived in the craziest cities, and you know, I'd like them to factor some of those other things in there.
Well, you know, especially if you're like Walter White driving around in one of those Pontiac Trans, whatever was that car he had?
Pontiac Aztecs. So I guess it is true they have the worst drivers.
I think you're right. Yes, it is true. Thank you there, Matt. We have more trending news and entertainment coming up.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. Thank you for joining us today. And as we get closer and closer, the one holiday you cannot forget about is Mother's Day, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
May 12th is Mother's Day. So a survey comes out. Now you want to start thinking about what you want to get Mom. A recent survey came out. 30% of the mothers that they survey said they want flowers. So if you're going to get flowers, I think you're okay with that. Yeah. 27%, though, which is kind of close to that same amount, want some kind of new gadget, maybe like a smartphone or something like that, a gadget they can use.
That's risky.
And then they asked them, well, how many of you would like candy? How many do you think would want candy, percentage-wise? Out of
10%?
5% of moms don't want candy at all. And then they also said that 72%, they asked the dads, 72% of the dads say that they actually have huge problems trying to buy a Mother's Day gift, number
that.
one. And it always seems like, dad's easy. Mom, you want to make sure, because you want to make it right. And so last year for Liza, I got her the manicure gift certificate. She still hasn't used it. I was like, why don't you go get your nails done? Oh, yeah, I have that. I guess I have to do it.
Doesn't that kind of infuriate you a little bit? Because I've gotten Alan a few gift cards. Like I got him like a PlayStation gift card for games, like $100, and he still hasn't used it.
Go use it. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
If it were me, it'd be spent like within minutes.
Right,
but like he
100%.
hangs on to it. I'm like, please spend this. Otherwise, I feel like I'm throwing money away.
If she doesn't, I'm going to say give her until May 5th. Cinco de Mayo, I'm going to go get a pedicure. I'm using that card. It's like, give me that card. I'm going to go.
See, at least you can use you
Yeah.
can use that one. I really can't use the PlayStation
Xbox,
for whatever.
PlayStation.
Well, check this out. A small Florida key known as Beer Can Island is for sale, and one buyer is looking to partner up with anyone who can put in $1,000. The 9-acre island, also known as Pine Key, was created in the 1940s as a result of dredging. It's the process of relocating sand and other materials from construction sites. 3 friends purchased the island in 2017 and cleared what was described as about 400 bags worth of trash. The owners even installed attractions like a giant slide, portable bathrooms, tiki bars to attract visitors. Well, now they've decided to shut it all down, and the island is listed for more than $14 million. One interested buyer has launched a campaign called Save Beer Can Island. It would allow the public to buy a stake in the island for just $1,000 each. He says if he's able to buy the island with funds from potential island investors, anyone who pays $1,000 will have the opportunity to vote on issues, including whether the island will be open to the public and what should be on the site.
I love the idea, especially the fact that, and they had some aerial views of it, just how many boats that go around it. And the 400 bags of trash tell you that people have been going there no matter what. So why not kind of own it and then also have some kind of rules on it to where you wouldn't have that much trash out there. And maybe like it's a nice little getaway. But don't think that if this is going to be your own personal island, because it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's just kind of a crowdfunding option of buying some property.
Yes.
I'm surprised more people don't do that then.
And you think for $1,000, I mean, if you buy, I wonder if your percentage, if you donate more, I would imagine you get even more percentage of it. But for $14 million, and you think about people having their own island, I mean, what are you going to do with it? Number one, you can't build a house on it. It's only 30 acres. So that's at least you at least know that you can go on there and it'd be your part.
It sounds like the joke where like, I've got swampland to sell you in Florida.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's 20.
I got an island off of Tampa called Beer Can Island. You got $1,000? All right, come on in.
And Roy Rogers was wrong. He said, buy land because they quit making it. But this shows you back in the 40s they made land.
They did. You're right.
Even though it's out in the ocean.
Well, if you met your partner on the dating site Bumble, you could win a free Las Vegas wedding. The company announced a plan to celebrate couples who met on their dating app with free weddings and vow renewals this summer. For one weekend only, Bumble is turning the Little White Chapel into a wedding venue for 50 couples whose romance started on the app. Now through the end of April, anyone who met their partner on the platform can share their love story for a chance to win a Vegas-style wedding. Of course, there are restrictions that apply. What do you guys think about this one?
I think you're going to be there with 50 other people. I don't know how romantic that would be, but if you get a free trip to Vegas and maybe you want to save a little cash, why not, instead of having this extravagant party?
I wonder if it's people that had to pay the extra to get like the premium Bumble.
Oh, I bet you're right.
You get the premium, swipe.
And it got up there. I mean, it's expensive.
It's expensive, yeah.
I paid $30 for my wife.
We've got more Flash coming up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Daily Flash.
Welcome back to Daily Flash, and in today's Financially Speaking, we are talking about artificial intelligence because we all know it is here and it is not going anywhere. But somewhere you might not know it's already affecting is when you're shopping. Here to give some insight into how AI is helping or hurting us when we're shopping is an investment banker and contributor for Forbes.com, Richard Kestenbaum, a partner with Triangle Capital. How are you, Richard?
Hey, how are you? Great to see you.
Doing great. So why is artificial intelligence, which we're all affected by now, so important for the retail industry?
Retail has very thin margins very often. Some companies can make a lot of money, but it's a highly competitive, cutthroat business because it has to reflect consumer tastes. It changes very rapidly. So it's very important to have maximum efficiency. And if your competitor across the street is more efficient than you are, they're going to be able to do more, be more profitable, and you have to keep up with all the trends and changes in order to be successful.
So we know AI is being used in just about every industry. So are they using it currently in the retail market?
If you go to the self-checkout in your grocery store or supermarket and it stops you because something you put in your bag wasn't scanned properly, that is very likely artificial intelligence that is looking at what you're putting in your bag and asking whether it saw it go through the scan. And it has to distinguish between the baby you put down in the stroller next to you, the handbag that you might put down in the rack where the paid products go, and the cereal box that you might have mistakenly not scanned. And artificial intelligence is doing that. It's going to go from that very front of the store all the way back through the store to help management see when there's a stock out on the shelves, to help them see when there's a box unopened in the back of the store, to help them in their distribution center to see where something hasn't been picked properly. And that's going to make them more efficient and more profitable.
How do you think it's going to be used, in the future opposed to using from now? Like you're saying, they're using it for stocking and inventory and to make sure you're not, hiding something under the self-checkouts. But how do you think it's going to be used in the future?
It's going to be used to help decision making. You can see how any decision you make today can be made or assisted by artificial intelligence. What we can't see now is how the decisions we're not making can be made or assisted by artificial intelligence. So, for example, there may be a broken truck on the road. Artificial intelligence can gather data to say this delivery is going to be late, figure out how to substitute for it. There are all kinds of ways that we don't gather the data we need to run a business that we'll be able to gather and that the artificial intelligence will be able to assimilate into decision making. And that is a whole new world that I believe will affect the life of almost everyone in the world.
And now a big uproar that's been going on ever since the idea of AI being put out there is, how is it going to affect the personnel and the associates in these stores, or will they just have to adapt?
What we are seeing with technology generally is that it doesn't replace people, it changes their jobs. And in many ways, it makes them more productive. So when a store associate can get a better advisor on an iPad or mobile device they're holding for what kind of shirt or pants would be appropriate for this customer based on what we know about them, having watched them perhaps pick up certain things in the store, that's going to make the experience better for the customer, make the store associate more effective. So there will be training, there will be displacement. Not everyone will adjust.
Gotcha.
And that's the nature of change.
That's great information, Richard. And we'll make sure we'll have all of that on our website at dailyflashshow.com. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Matt.
Let's start off with some great Daily Flash deals. This is where we share great finds at exclusive prices, and then you can actually start shopping right now. Scan the QR code. It's on your screen, or you can visit dailyflash.com.
Look who it is, lifestyle expert Melissa Cade. She's here to give us all the details. Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. We all want to be healthy. My understanding, this is really going to keep us on track, what you have.
Absolutely. So when it comes to your body, knowledge is power, right? And so many of us are familiar with the ordinary scale that gives us one piece of the pie, right? That's my pun for the day.
I like it.
Okay.
Pie.
Pie is what gets you on the
That's
scale.
right. That's right. But this is Counto, and this is a smart scale. And the difference here is that it gives you 12 body measurements. All you do is stand on it like you would a normal scale. You connect it to the Counto app, and within seconds, you have 12 body measurements. So, of course, you have your weight. How about your hydration? How about the protein in your body? Your body fat percentage, your body mass index, your subcutaneous fat. I know you wanted to know about your subcutaneous subcutaneous fat.
It's a good opening line. Yeah.
Good opening line.
I've been called that a couple times.
So this is a pretty amazing experience. It will actually chart out your success on the app. And it's not just for you, it's for everybody in the family, because this can actually hold information for multiple users. I know a lot of people that are using this and taking that information and sending it to their doctors. So they have less doctor appointments, right? And more control in the palm of your hand and at the comfort of your own home.
Because there is nothing more mortifying, I'm telling you, than going to the doctor's office and like, first we have to step on the scale. And then somebody's standing right next to you. And you're like,
Well, and all you get from that is your weight,
Just the
right?
weight.
And that's just one piece of the puzzle. This is how you have the right tool in your toolbox in order to stay on track. So whether you're trying to lose weight, build muscle, or have more energy to run around with the kids, this is the right tool for you. I thought for sure with all of this information that you're going to be receiving, this would be upwards of $100.
I think so.
Boy, was I wrong. It's about half of that. It's under 50, and today it's a 38% savings.
38%.
That's right.
That's a great investment
That's
into your house.
right.
I love that. But I also noticed there's no wires, so
That's right. 2 AAA batteries. That's it. Pop them in. You're done.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, easy
Excellent
peasy.
stuff.
at least thank you.
You're welcome.
It's terrific. To take advantage of this deal, scan the QR code right there on your screen, or you can head to dailyflash.com.
In celebration of Earth Day, LG Electronics North American Innovation Campus hosted a community fair to showcase their commitment to bettering the planet and making life good for all. From community recycling to e-waste to scavenger hunts, LG continued to do their part to make the world a little bit greener. Check it out.
We're excited to be here on Earth Day at LG's North American headquarters, hosting a community fair, which is really demonstrating and showcasing LG's commitment to bettering life for all. This event extends LG Electronics' recent announcement of its $150,000 commitment in partnership with the National Wildlife Federation and Discovery Education to host a K-12 educational series about vulnerable and endangered species tied to our Times Square billboard. At LG, we say life's good. This isn't just our tagline or slogan, it's our brand promise to create a better life for people and a better future for our planet. Today, we're celebrating Earth Day with a variety of activities focused on being environmentally friendly and educating children. At our e-waste drive, visitors are responsibly recycling unwanted electronics and also learning from our partner, the National Wildlife Federation, on how to turn their backyard into a certified wildlife habitat. Chris Jung, CEO of LG North America, and the mayors of Inglewood Cliffs and Fort Lee unveiled Bergen County's first corporate certified pollinator garden, a special habitat to attract butterflies, bees, and other pollinators right here on our campus, and for the community to enjoy.
One of the best ways that we can help out our wildlife is to restore habitat. And that's actually what LG is doing. They have created a pretty incredible pollinator garden. It's going to be one of the very first corporate partnerships where the National Wildlife Federation is recognizing a garden like this as a certified wildlife habitat. It's going to provide food and cover and places to raise young for all sorts of wildlife, including essential pollinators like the monarch butterfly, like our native bees, which sadly are disappearing. And so once this thing takes root and starts to grow, life's going to be pretty good for those pollinators.
LG, from the moment they arrived here, has been a partner with the borough of Fort Lee. I cannot begin to tell you how appreciative we are of the commitment that LG has made.
And now from the kitchen, check out this healthy drink that's nutritious for the body. Here's more.
In the Know, incorporating Florida orange juice into your daily routine and recipes is a simple way to increase your intake of essential vitamins and minerals like vitamin C, potassium, and folate.
Florida orange juice is the original wellness drink and is a delicious addition to any recipe, cocktail, or even mocktail due to its natural sweetness and great taste. Try this Florida orange juice and cranberry spritzer during National Nutrition Month.
Learn more at floridajuice.com.
All right, let's now go to a captivating reality show called Chef Swap at the Beach on the Cooking Channel. Here's Chef Mason Zeglin with a preview of the second season.
Hi, I'm award-winning chef Mason Zeglin, host of Chef Swap at the Beach on the Cooking Channel. All along the Grand Strand in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, talented chefs are serving up flavorful and memorable meals. Some of our incredibly talented chefs of the Myrtle Beach area will be showcased in Season 2 of Chef Swap at the Beach, a show that's sure to get the culinary world buzzing. Every week, 2 chefs from the Myrtle Beach area will swap kitchens and prepare a new dish for evaluation by veteran judges and culinary experts Dylan Foster and Johanna Wilson-Jones.
Wow.
Nice shareable little appetizer.
Well, this is extra credit. That's a passing grade in my book.
Yes, more than a dozen of Myrtle Beach's finest chefs will be sharing their stories while dishing up authentic, one-of-a-kind masterpieces. Chef Swap at the Beach is not only great foodie entertainment, but also shines a light on the culinary cultures and unique flavors of the region, from the Grand Strand to west of the waterway, as well as the heart of downtown Myrtle Beach. This season includes an all-new Catch and Cook episode, showcasing the area's bounty of fresh, local seafood. For me, Myrtle Beach isn't just a beach, it's the beach. A destination made up of 14 unique communities, offering families, couples, and anyone searching for a warm welcome, vibrant entertainment, family attractions, world-class golf, shopping, and fresh coastal Carolina cuisine. I'm Chef Mason Zeglin, host of Chef Swap at the Beach. Looking forward to seeing you at one of our many amazing culinary treasures on the Grand Strand. For more information about tourism opportunities in the area, or to learn more about Season 2, check out chefswap.com.
KSA Entertainment believes in our communities. We value those who have dedicated their lives to enrich our own. KSA Entertainment is proud to introduce our corporate initiative, KSA Cares. KSA Cares shines a light, gives a voice, and lends a helping hand through compelling awareness initiatives. From supporting veterans to environmental awareness, KSA Entertainment is proud to produce content supporting ways to help communities all across America. This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites, and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
I just realized something, guys. I'm going to take my jacket off to show you. If this was a short sleeve shirt, I'd dress like Forrest Gump today.
You totally did.
Can we pull down, Will?
Hey.
I'm totally Forrest Gump. I just need a short sleeve shirt.
I kept thinking, why do you look so familiar? What is it?
I don't know.
Like a box of chocolate.
We had so much fun with your wedding, Matt.
It was beautiful,
It was a
Matt.
Gatsby. Speaking of dressing up,
Yes.
I love dress-up events, and it was a
Beautiful.
Gatsby theme. It was fun.
That was all the ladies thing, but I will tell you, the seating chart was a disaster.
Really?
We didn't really have...
What seating chart?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't have a full chart, but we had reserved seats for certain family members and guests of honor and all that. And we talked about it the day before with the coordinator lady, and bless her heart. She just let it go, and half an hour before the wedding, obviously Leah couldn't help out with that, so
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
running
So
over
many
there.
things you have to do.
It's hot, and I'm like, look, why is my mom sitting in the back? She needs to be over there. Why are my aunt and uncle in another room? All these people are just like...
Why is Mitch by the bar? We told him to keep him.
Keep him over there. Like, no, nothing except beer right now. So that was like the most stressful thing, and then I forgot to do a couple other things, but like that just was like, I was like, oh, come on.
Those things will happen.
Yeah.
We didn't know. I mean, like as guests, we had to. Was Jackson and I supposed to sit together? We
didn't have. We kind of left it as open seating.
Oh,
We wanted
okay,
people to
good.
mingle, but like there were about 4 tables that we made reserved signs for. That the lady that was coordinating it knew who was. I showed her
think we
pictures.
sat at the reserve table.
Probably did.
Probably, I don't remember. It's one of those things that everything they tell you, every stereotype of the day,
It's
it's just a flash.
And all that matters is you got married. No one would have known there was
Fun.
craziness.
No
it was
fights,
more in your
no
head.
nothing. If nobody was too drunk, it was great.
That was great stuff.
It was great. It was very good.
Wonderful
Thanks for
time.
coming,
Yes.
guys.
Oh,
It was
you got it.
Wonderful
Thanks
time
for
to
the
have
invite.
y'all here as well. We
Yeah.
want you to join us again.
Absolutely. Check out our website, dailyflashshow.com, for more information. If you've missed anything, you miss a lot, but you can catch it on the website.
All of our awesome socials.
Yeah.
Take care.
Be good,
See you when we
everybody.
look at
Peace
you.
and love.
Bye-bye.